All right, what's going on, traders? Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a little trade recap on the NQ shorts from today, February 4th. Unfortunately, TRADOVATE is down for like the second week in a row. Don't know what the hell is going on with TRADOVATE. They got to fix their shit. But this was an A+ setup. Again, I was unable to take this, so I paper traded this on the live stream, but this was an absolute textbook setup. Let's jump into it. All right, so here is the short setup. This was probably the cleanest trade of the week so far. I'd consider this probably the only A+ setup that we've gotten this week. Of course, TRADOVATE had to be down, but if you know anything about me, I only like to take A+ setups. Like, I do not like taking trades that I wouldn't take on a live account. A lot of people in the space will say, oh, you know, this trade is valid for an eval or this trade is valid for funded, but I wouldn't take it on a live. That's just not how I operate. That's not how I execute. So let's go over why I was looking for a short, okay? Again, today was like the most no-brainer day. If you didn't catch shorts, then there's just something wrong with your trading model. Simple as that. So let's actually go to, we'll go to the 4 hour. Okay, so obviously I was looking for shorts because market structure is bearish, right? Took out this low, made a lower high, right? And now we're in the process of forming that lower low. And before market even opened, if we go into replay mode here to like the 1 hour time frame, I saw that we had this equal low here that it looked like price wanted to take out. Now, the reason I was not looking for any longs today is just look at this price action, right? We're inversing a lot of these higher time frame bullish gaps, right? Massive death candle down. You could say that there's an equal high up here, so maybe we'll go bullish. But there was an SMT divergence with ES here as well. So ES actually did take out this high. We had this equal low heading into market open. And we also had this trend line liquidity on like a 4 hour time frame. I was telling you guys in the lives, you know, there's a strong likelihood that we just run all this trend line liquidity if we take out this low today. But this was my main draw on liquidity, right? The previous day low was my main draw for the day. I didn't really want to take trades if it wasn't shorting to these lows. Okay, so then market opens right around here. Keep in mind, there was news today as well. There was news today at 10 a.m. So here we go. Boom, 9:30 opens right there. We did get that fake out move on market open. A lot of IFEG traders probably took this long position here, right? Sweeper liquidity. There's your IFEG. This is not a good trade, okay? This is a pattern trade because, again, we've already established that our draw on liquidity is going to be lower, right? Clear equal low here. So at that point, I'll just drop down to a lower time frame and look for my entry. So I actually thought I missed a trade. I thought I missed a short for the day. I thought we were going to run all of these lows off of this initial move here during market open, right? We were failing these bullish imbalances here as well, right? Closing below. So I was like, you know what? There's probably like a 90% chance that we just run all of these lows and I just get off for the day because this was the only draw on liquidity I was looking for. But it actually gave us a really nice entry. Okay, we saw that reversal back up and then we got the SMT divergence with ES. Now, I don't use SMT as a non-negotiable in my strategy. I use it as an extra piece of confluence. So I don't need to have an SMT to enter a trade. But we just had such an obvious massive SMT. I mean, we have the 833 highs right here. And then we have obviously 930 highs right here. And then 936. So we take a look at ES here during the same time. So I guess ES didn't take out the 830 highs, but ES obviously swept this internal high here. It took out the 930 highs. So again, NQ did not take out the 930 highs. ES did. Okay, so the SMT was actually right here. Okay, so this was your bearish SMT. Whenever you see a discrepancy between NQ and ES, you always want to short the weaker asset. Okay, so because NQ did not take out this high, we want to be looking for shorts on NQ because this has a bearish SMT or just a bearish discrepancy between these two assets. So at this point, all I'm looking for is my entry trigger. Obviously, I use inversions as my entry trigger. So all I'm looking for here is a 1 minute V-shape inverse. If you guys didn't know, I also have coded this entire strategy into its own indicator called the Manipulation X indicator. You can see it automatically alerts you for when there's a sweep of liquidity, IFEG, etc. We never got a full clear inverse here, right? Like this is not an inverse. Ideally, I would like to take a V-shape inverse fair value gap, okay? So a V-shape meaning, you know, within 2 to 3 candles, a nice inverse and then enter the trade. We did not get that, okay? Because of news, we kind of just chopped around. Normally, I would not take a short like this that, you know, has so many candles before the inversion. But again, liquidity is everything, right? Once you understand where your draw on liquidity is for the day, your entry model doesn't really matter that much, right? So I always say your entry model comes second to your draw on liquidity or your bias for the day. Still waiting for that inverse. Still no inverse, chopping around literally for like 15 minutes, just chopping around. And then look at the timing here, okay? Right into the 950 macro. Literally 950 hits. Okay, now I'm expecting some sort of reversal at this point because we've just accumulated this whole time. And boom, right? 950 hits, like literally to the minute. You cannot make this up. I do like to include macros in my trading. My indicator also alerts here. We have a bearish inverse for a value gap. This is the entry trigger. We also did get an internal sweep of liquidity. So pair that with the bearish SMT, right? If we take a look at ES, right? ES took the high once again. So we had like this 3-drive pattern on ES where NQ just did not take any of those highs. Or I guess it took this internal high, but a clear bearish SMT here as well. So we had the SMT, and then immediately on the candle that followed, we saw that inverse right at the 950 macro. Like this is textbook stuff, like time, price, everything is aligning here. This was when I said, you can enter the trade here. Obviously, TRADOVATE was down. A lot of people ask where I place my invalidation or my stop loss. My stop loss is always above or below the nearest POI. So I can see here on this move down, we've created this bearish fair value gap. So my stop loss is going to go above that bearish fair value gap and right above that inverse, okay? That's my stop loss. Once again, I'm targeting lower prices here. This is my stop loss to break even level, obviously the nearest internal low. Now, I do see a lot of people getting chopped up on their break even, right? A lot of people will move their stop loss to break even too early. Like price will go down like a little bit, and then they're already moving their stops to break even, right? Which makes absolutely no sense. You need to let your thesis play out. You should only move your stop loss to break even once your trade idea would be invalidated if it came back to entry. If your trade idea would still be valid if price came back to your entry, then don't move your stop loss to break even. You're literally asking to get wicked at your entry point and then have price hit your take profit, which did happen to a lot of traders today. I guarantee it, because they probably moved their stop loss to break even too early, got stopped to break even. Right, boom, there was that retest, and then obviously hits both of these lows. I would have personally kept a runner going here just because we had all of that trendline liquidity to run on a higher time frame, and this just absolutely melted after that. Again, I would say this is probably the only true A+ setup that we've gotten this week so far. This was a continuation trade. Now, we were not delivering from any higher time frame for a value gap in this trade, which is fine, okay? I don't always need high time frame delivery. In this case, we saw that bearish SMT. We had very obvious draws in liquidity. Like today was a no-brainer, right? Going into the market, we had so many equal lows. We were in bearish market structure. We had bearish SMTs. It's very hard to lose in trading when you have an obvious draw in liquidity. I see all the time on the timeline, you guys are entering trades between two draws. Like it's not an obvious draw. It's not an obvious bias. You only want to be trading when it is obvious. And, I think I told you guys in the live this morning as well. I was like, there's a 100% chance, like I can bet my life that we will take these lows because there's so many equal lows. There are so many draws in liquidity lower. Like we're obviously in bearish market structure. We're seeing bearish SMTs. I know we will take these lows, okay? The only thing I'm looking for is an objective entry trigger. That's it, okay? That is a level that you guys need to be at. You should know where price is going. The issue is not, is price going up or down? The issue is, okay, where do I find an objective entry that follows a somewhat mechanical system that I can use on a day-to-day basis, okay? And that is where this model comes into play. I call this the manipulation model. There are so many models out there, so many people teaching pretty much the same thing. Again, I don't need to see an SMT for my model to be valid, but it is an extra piece of confluence. Really, guys, at the end of the day, all that matters is liquidity, okay? The entry model is kind of just that cherry on top that you enter to go to that draw on liquidity. But yeah, this was an absolute textbook day, absolute no-brainer. Let me know if you guys enjoy these trade breakdown videos. I'll do more of these if you guys enjoy, if you guys find value. I'll link my socials down in the description below as well if you guys want to follow. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more trading content, and I'll see you guys next video.